How mature is 3D printing? The answer is, yet again, it depends. We know 18 different metal additive manufacturing technology, and each has a different maturity level. This video gives you an overview of the maturity level of those 18 technologies. Hello and welcome at AMPOWER. Metal 3D printing got much more complex over the past 5 years because many new technologies came up on the market. Today we are counting 18 different technologies, and there are even more in the pipeline. But that quickly raises the question what maturity level for each of those technology has. For users, it is interesting to evaluate when is the right timing to examine a technology more closely and maybe implementing it into their technology strategy. At AMPOWER, we developed a maturity level index that is taking into account several different factors that I want to explain in this video. The maturity level index is split into two values, the technology maturity and the industrialization maturity. First, we evaluate the maturity of the technology itself. We call this the Technology Maturity Index. This index is on a scale from 0 to 5, while 0 stands for a completely new technology which has just been invented, while 5 represents a technology that is available on the market as an established standard. This index is being calculated taking 4 different factors into account: series production capability, process capability, machine concept, and in-process quality control. For serial production capability, we evaluate the availability of an integrated serial production of the technology. Today, none of the current metal 3D printing technology has reached this full scale, but for example, laser and electron powder bed fusion are both rated at level 4 out of 5 for this factor, which means they're being used in a production environment, but not yet at a full-scale serial production with an integrated periphery. The process capability, on the other hand, takes into account how reliable the manufacturing process is running. Also here, most technologies still struggle at least with occasional defects, which also lead to a level 4 for the top-rated laser powder bed fusion technology. With the third factor, the machine concept, we are currently give a full rating for this technology. A significant indicator is that the currently available laser powder bed systems have not many differentiators anymore, and the improvements of new system releases are not as big as anymore, which means that the machine concept has reached a very high maturity level. The last factor of the technology maturity is the process quality control. Here, full rating is given to technologies that have an in-process monitoring and a closed-loop process control implemented, which means deviations during the process do not lead to a drop in part quality or productivity. Now, let's talk about industrialization maturity. Here, we evaluate not the supply chain and the systems and the technology, but the user market and how well the technology is adopted by the industry. 6 different factors have an influence on this index: the technology availability, the installed base, the material availability, experience in the fields and documented applications, the knowledge base and consideration in public research, and last but not least, the available standards and best practices. The most important factor is the technology source. Level 5 stands for high availability of systems and materials in a multi-source competitive market. Laser powder bed fusion and filament FDM have reached this level today already. The installed base, on the other hand, is rated depending on the number of machines in the market. The third factor, material availability, is considering materials that are available on the market for this technology today. The experience in the field is an important factor which represents how many applications have been implemented in a serial production in the field. Publicly available knowledge is considered since it represents the availability of free knowledge in the market, especially with a focus to public research. Last but not least, we evaluate the availability of best practices and standards. Especially standards play an important role while implementing a new technology, since they lower the entry barrier for a new user especially significantly. Now, let's have a look at where the different technologies are currently rated. There's a group of 4 to 5 technologies that reached an industrial relevant maturity level, both in terms of technology and industrialization. Especially laser powder bed fusion has a top rating in comparison with the other technologies. Next, there's a group of 7 to 8 technologies that are already on the market since a few years, and first applications are being developed and first systems are in production. Now, the third group of about 7 technologies is still at a prototype stage, which means no significant applications are known and the systems are not yet commercially available. Laser powder bed fusion is by far the most advanced metal 3D printing technology when it comes to the maturity index. But we expect that in the next 5 years, between 5 to 10 other technologies will reach a significant degree of industrialization in this market. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and see you next time.